Shabbos Kestenbaum, shalom.
Hi, good to be here.
Welcome to our studio in Jerusalem. You're here in Jerusalem, of course, as part of the Countering Anti-Semitism Conference. You're a Harvard graduate. You're an activist. First of all, I wanted to ask you about what's going on with Columbia. The federal funds of the university were withheld, and it caused a change. How do you look at that?
I think it's excellent. When I campaigned for Donald Trump, it was for particular reasons. One of those reasons was anti-Semitic institutions of higher learning in the United States are out of control. The only way you can rein them in is to hurt them. And that is the withholding of federal funds. That's taxing their endowments. And what a damning indictment on the previous administration. They could have done those things at literally any point, and they didn't. So finally, after just 3 months of being in office, President Trump and his administration are putting their money where their mouth is. And this is not a threat, it's a promise. Harvard is next. UCLA is next. Yale is next. This is not a problem just of Columbia University, but it will continue.
Now, were you surprised that it happened so fast?
I wouldn't say surprised, because as someone who knew the people on the campaign, who met with President Trump, they were serious about this issue. It really was not lip service. And President Trump's Joint Task Force on Anti-Semitism is really a collaboration and a compilation of policymakers from across ideological spectrums, across governmental agencies, who are really committed to this issue. And my only complaint, honestly, is that this was meant to be more. It was meant to be a $3 billion cut. It turned into $400 million. That's my only complaint. I always tell the Doge guys, go in with a chainsaw. And I'm not surprised, because, as I said, this is exactly what they were standing for from day one.
Now, the fact that it happened and everyone's like, okay, now everything's okay, you're out there saying that's not at all. It's not that Harvard, Columbia, first what we're talking about, Columbia is like totally kosher at this point.
Yeah, excellent question. So there is this perception, certainly in the media, that President Armstrong, the president of Columbia University, is going to institute a lot of reforms. She's going to implement policies. And then we have a day later, she's talking to the faculty off the record saying, hey, look, I have to talk tough with the Trump guys, but we both know we're not going to enforce a lot of these policies, chief among them being the mask ban. So that's really been an issue that's united the Jewish community from the far right to the far left to the centrist. People understand that at Columbia, at Harvard, at UCLA, students want to evade accountability and responsibility by masking themselves, whether it's a surgical mask, whether it's a keffiyeh. And we have been saying from day one that there needs to be accountability, there needs to be justice. You have to get rid of masks on campuses when they're being used explicitly to evade accountability. And President Armstrong told the Trump administration that that is a policy they would implement. Just 2 or 3 days later, there was an unsanctioned protest at Columbia University with masked students who are daring the administration, arrest us, suspend us. And Columbia Jewish students are fed up about being fed up. They need enforcement, they need action.
So it's not enough, this important and significant action. The pressure has to continue.
The pressure has to continue. And again, the people on the task force, the anti-Semitism task force, the people on the Department of Government Efficiency, they're not dumb. They're not taking President Armstrong at her word. They're not taking Harvard at their word. They want to see results. They want to see policies actually being implemented and then enforced. And if Columbia tries to renege on those commitments, then not only will they reinstate those cuts, but they will increase the amount of cuts, which, again, I'm all in favor of.
Now, you mentioned Harvard, and you're out there reminding everyone that Columbia is not enough. This has to continue to the other institutions.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, today is actually a really good example. So there was a die-in scheduled at Harvard University in solidarity with Mahmoud Khalil, who's, of course, the pro-Hamas terrorist sympathizer at Columbia University. And if you go on these pro-Palestine Instagram pages of Harvard groups, they have stated explicitly to wear masks. Masks are mandatory. They have been texting students in WhatsApp groups saying, get rid of your location on your phone, wear clothing so you won't be, that is not recognizable. And we told the administration just last night that, hey, you are going to have unsanctioned protests of students and non-students who are trying to cause chaos. What are you going to do about it? They, of course, didn't respond to us. This is happening just today.
So you're afraid that some people in the authorities may feel that Columbia is enough? You feel that you have to be out there reminding everyone?
Exactly. And, I'm obviously a student who was at Harvard, but Columbia students themselves are saying it's not enough to simply have a good headline and to cut funds once, but it has to be sustained, it has to be consistent. Otherwise, people are going to revert back to their anti-Semitic ways of last semester, and yeah, we need to put up all the pressure, all the heat on these universities.
So you're talking about this pressure, but when you speak with different officials in the Trump administration, you're reassured that this is the direction?
Absolutely. These are individuals with integrity, and more than integrity, these are individuals who are concerned and they're angry at the treatment of Jewish American students at these elitist universities, and they have told students, Leo Terrell being chief among them, help is on the way, and we are going to do everything we can to make sure that these institutions of higher learning that have betrayed the trust of the American taxpayer, that have violated the civil rights of Jewish Americans, that have infested their classrooms with political indoctrination and anti-Americanism, they will finally be held to account.
Now, we all want people to be awakened to their identity through positive events, but you're talking a lot recently about the fact that there's an awakening in the Jewish community, Jewish students, following these challenges, October 7th, the anti-Semitism.
Yeah, look, I could give you a laundry list of incidents pertaining to anti-Semitism. I could tell you about the students who are scared to express their Jewish identity, for sure. But this should not come as a shock to your listeners. There are lots of October 8th Jews. These are Jews who may not be religiously observant, but they'll light Shabbat candles Friday night for a hostage, or they will tuck out their Star of David necklace. Harvard Chabad, we have record numbers, and I know that's the case at Columbia and UCLA and Penn and Yale. There are Jews who may not have felt an affinity or a connection with the state or the land of Israel, and something within them simply clicked. And that's a message I want to bring to the Israeli government. I want to bring to Jewish communities across the world, that there are young people who've woken up post-October 7th, and they really don't want to go back to sleep. And we have to do everything we can as a community to pool our resources and make sure that they are given the tools and whatever they need to explore their Jewish identity.
Very important. Shabbos Kestenbaum, thank you very much for joining us, and good luck.
Thank you very much.